All right, we are live. All right, so welcome, guys. So what I figured we would do for this call, we're getting some new blood, finally. Do some intro, talk about like maybe we'll just go round robin real quick and just talk about what we do business wise, and kind of what our businesses are, and then we can go from there and discuss what's going on. I'll start. John Sonmez, my main company is Bulldog Mindset, and I, it's basically focused on teaching masculinity to men, teaching men how to be men. I've been making the shift to more of the financial aspect of things with my Well That Never Runs Dry kind of high ticket offer. That's what I'm really focusing on right now. And I have another company called Simple Programmer, which teaches software developers soft skills, because I was a software developer for quite some time. I was a nerdy software developer. So that's it.
Awesome. So I guess I'll go next. So I'm Coach Kyle, aka Kyle Frungen, whatever you guys want to call me. YouTube Coach Kyle. I teach men how to attract their dream partner, cultivate the social skills that they need to have more confidence, get more women, more dates, more friends, and just live a epic life essentially. So I run a high ticket sales process where you get to work with me directly, and it's pretty much just a mentorship. So that's my business right now.
Nice. And my name is Manny. I have a book summary business called 2000 Books, a YouTube channel on that as well, and mostly dedicated to business and personal development books for entrepreneurs. But lately, over the last 1 year, I've pivoted most of the business into the productivity space. So I have a couple of different products in productivity, but most important one that I love the most is Focus Blocks, which is like having a live productivity coach or a guide working with you, co-working with you 24 hours a day, Monday to Friday. And that's a subscription service that we offer, which makes it really easy for people to focus and get their best work done. And most of our customers say that they double their productivity when they use Focus Blocks. These are long chunks of time compared to trying to work by themselves. So.
Awesome. All right. Well, what we usually do, Kyle, is we usually just kind of talk about like what's new, what's going on, and then, what do we need help with business wise. I'm trying to think if I don't got a lot new to report. I've been experimenting with Instagram Reels, with doing more frequency in the Reels. It seems to tank the Reels. So I think one a day is probably optimal, maybe two a day. But when I started putting more into there, it started tanking the Reels and the reach on them.
How many did you increase the frequency up to?
I started doing like 3 to 4 a day. And I saw views dropping down from there. So, and not as far of reach, like I was only reaching my audience instead of reaching new people. Whereas when I was doing one a day, I was reaching a lot of new people. So
got it. Okay, interesting. Because that's literally what I'm shifting my focus into more, is putting out reels every single day. So I was actually going to start with somewhere between the 2 to 3 range per day. Lately, we've been doing one a day, but like I just started trying to move into this space more, and I was actually going to be doing like 2 or 3. So that's interesting from also my question is like, what about your total views for the day? Because even if each reel actually went down a little bit, but if you're doubling the content going out, like is actually the total views going down for the day?
Yeah. So let me take a look here and see. Maybe I can even just bring it up on the screen here. Let's see. All right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'll share my screen. Let's see. Okay. So here's my Instagram, right? And you can see that these are not getting nearly the views. Okay. So this is about when I started, because these were 1 per day. that were coming out. Actually, I did a little bit of extra ones, but 81K views, 24K views, 63K, 32K, 95K, right? These ones were pretty much in the 30K to plus range. Then I started adding, I think this was the first day I added an extra one. You can see it's kind of split. That looks like it might be a little bit more. So 2 might be okay. But then on the next day, I did this one, and then I did 2 kind of impromptu ones. And I mean, I guess that looks like that's about 30K there. Then this Johnny Depp one kind of took off, but if you look at it, it's like this one was 30, this one was 11, this one's 17.5, 10, 6, and then here's where it really starts to drop down. That's like only 7. That one's 6.5, 16.2. So you could see that it's really like, if you add these up, I don't think it's coming up to the well, and more important than just the raw views, right, is the reach on this. Because what I'm seeing was, I can't see the stats here, but I saw my Instagram account stop growing.
Yeah.
Even though maybe I was getting the same view count, but it's because like, if this only hits 6,900 people, it's not getting a far reach on it.
Right.
It might be just my own subscribers. So.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense then.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So I guess really it should be shifted more towards like quality versus quantity at the end of the day.
I think it's, I think the ideal is maybe it's 2 a day, but 1 a day was what was working best for me of higher quality.
Cool. I'll keep that in mind. So I mean, my girlfriend's in the other room right now, like literally chopping up the reel that we're going to put out today. So that's, I mean, with that being said, we're probably not going to be ramping it up to like 3 or 4 a day, but maybe I think probably 1 to 2, maybe like 3 every 2 days or something like that, 1.5 or whatever you would call that. So
yeah, I'd test out. What I would do is do 1 week where you do 1 per day, and then another week where you do 2 per day, and see which week works out better. That'd probably be a good test for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's also the content though, right? Because if you do drop one and that one ends up going into the algorithm, I would imagine that the following reels are going to be slightly boosted off of that to some extent, just due to the carryover. So it's like, yeah, looking on a day-by-day basis would definitely be too small of a sample size. So yeah, like doing it once per week or something like that would probably be best.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything that, I mean, that's mostly, I'm trying to think what other things I was working on as I put together the branding, like the videos. I've been working on the videos for the high ticket. Like my whole focus has been getting this high ticket offer going. So
do you do any call to actions in your reels, or is it just like in the caption or at the end of the reel itself, or no?
I did some reels. You typically don't do a call to action, but I'll do a specific reel that is basically a call to action itself. So I've done some reels where I'll say something along the lines of, hey, do you know what your self-confidence level is? Take this self-confidence quiz. You go to bulldogmindset.com/confidence and see what it is. And I'll do a reel like that. Or sometimes I'll do it where I'm like, hey, I found this quiz, right? And I'll get like, in 2 days, I'll get like 1,000 email signups from that. So what my whole plan is, like, to do one of those per week. Yeah. And get a bunch of email signups, but not to do it every time, because if you do it every time, then it doesn't go as viral, right? It starts to kill the virality of it. So rather than like trying to do the call to action at the end, I think it might be worth experimenting with, like, if you have a really good reel, doing a call to action at the end and seeing if that you get a response for it. But you got to kind of test it out. I'd rather, my kind of philosophy right now has been, do a bunch of reels that don't have any call to action, just trying to gain as much viewership as possible, and then throw in a couple of them that are designed for call to action.
Right. Okay. Are you taking these same reels and throwing them up on like TikTok and stuff?
Yeah, they're basically starting out on, they're going on TikTok and they're going on YouTube channel as well. So
that was my next question. What's been your experience with the YouTube Shorts?
it's like I've got some, like they do okay, but it doesn't seem to grow the channel very much. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it makes much of a difference at all. So I don't know. I mean, I keep on doing them because, well, what I'm hoping is that YouTube will eventually make it so that the shorts algorithm is the same or feeds into the regular video algorithm. So right now, basically the way it works, as far as I can tell on YouTube, is that if you put out regular videos, right, the algorithm that determines whether those things get pushed out and whatnot is different than the shorts algorithm. So, YouTube will kind of rank your content based on what it knows in the algorithm based on your videos. But the shorts one is totally different. You're hitting a different audience, right? You're hitting different people, and it's not crossing over. So if you get a bunch of people watching your shorts, it doesn't recommend people to your regular YouTube channel, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I'm hoping that eventually YouTube will combine that. And then that's why I'm thinking shorts might be good, is that if they do, then all of your shorts exposure would lead to recommended content for, if someone watch a short or they comment on your short or whatever, then they would get recommended videos from the other videos from your channel, which is, it seems to not be the case right now. So that's the bet that I'm putting on shorts.
Oh, that makes sense. So I guess the only way it would happen is if they watch the short and then they end up subscribing. And then
Exactly. Yeah.
Subscriber, yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, cool. That's literally what I'm in the process of doing, is like a doubling down on putting out a reel every day and then turning that into a YouTube short, putting that out every day. So that's like the main thing I'm trying to do over these upcoming weeks.
Yeah, I think that's the best. Like, I saw ridiculous Instagram growth from doing the shorts. I mean, from the
How
reels.
long have you been doing it? Has it been steady, or is it just like every now and then one just takes off crazy and then like a flood comes in?
It's been pretty steady. I'm trying to see. I can't remember when I started. I think I might have started this in January, or maybe it was December of last year. Something like that. It hasn't been like a super long time, but the growth has been pretty crazy. Because I think when I started doing shorts, my Instagram was at like 30K, maybe 25K, and now it's almost, what's that, what,
So you're
90?
coming up on 100, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm right at like 27, 28. So I'm like 4 months behind, 5 months behind you. So hopefully I'm not too late to the party.
I don't think so. I think that the reels will continue to produce good effects. They just started doing, I just got a thing where they gave me a reels bonus. That's why I was experimenting with more reels. So they'll pay you for your reels. And it was like the max bonus was $35,000 a month, but it's impossible to hit. It's like, for mine, it says that in order for me to get paid 35K, I need to have, what was it?
It's like a certain amount of views or something.
349 million views.
In a 30-day period?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the tier below the 35K?
It doesn't say exactly. It just shows how much money you've made so far from the reels based on the views, but it doesn't give you like transparency in how they calculate
What's your total views for the 30-day period?
So far, the deadline is May 21st, so it's been a few days. I have 315K views that are counted towards it.
Got it. Okay, so you probably hit like 3 to 5 mil.
I think that's, yeah,
for like
probably.
Period.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that'll be worth $1,000 or $2,000.
Yeah. I mean, it's still not bad, but damn, 350 mil, you're gonna have to really you have to really go viral for that one.
Yeah, well, I did the math on it too, because I was like, okay, well, maybe I can just brute force this, right? Because it was like, if it's 350 million, right, then if you think about that, like divided by 30 days, you need 11.6 million views per day, right? And so if your reel was getting like 40K per, if you could guarantee that, then you divide that by 40, you need to produce like a ridiculous number of like thousands of reels per day. So you have to have one go like just super viral in order to make that happen. So
so that's not even, it's not really the focus or the target goal.
So what's been what's been going on with you, Manny?
Just working on the webinar for Focus Blocks. And yeah, we're what, 2-3 weeks now. We've had what, 20, 30, 40 people watch the offer and 4 people buy it at the $1,000 price point, and then 1 person bought the trial. So it's an okay webinar. It's not as good as the Quantum Leap webinar right now. I think there's something missing there, or maybe it's too much. Something has to be done clearly in the webinar, but possibly because Quantum Leap is like, I'm offering a monthly subscription and it's a easy price point to get in on for the month, compared to this one. It's $1,000 price point, so that changes the game. So maybe it's the price.
How much is the monthly subscription
for Quantum Leap?
Yeah,
it's $300 a month.
okay.
And this one is
$1,000 per month.
Yeah, $300 a month. And this is like $1,000 for the year.
I think, okay, so there's a couple things. So you've got 40 people that have come into the webinar, right?
They've watched the offer, they've seen the offer. So maybe 50 or 60 people who went through who've been through the webinar.
40 people who saw the offer. You have 10 conversions.
Conversions.
I mean, 10% conversion rate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I got 2 thoughts on this. One is that your sample size is still too small. Like there's still enough variance in there that you could be performing at a, like your true conversion rate could be 15%. It could even be as high as 20%. It's less. Or
it could be 5% also. It could, right?
Yeah. I would say it's between 5 and 15%, right? That's the most likely range that it falls into the bell curve. But also in addition to that, you also are at this point marketing to a very marketed audience. Yes. So like the fact that you can even milk 10% closing rate out of an audience that you've already promoted webinars to for the last 3 months. That I don't think that's a realistic conversion. Because I watched both of the webinars or went through, and that second webinar is better. I think the Focus Blocks webinar. So Kyle, just as what Manny's doing is he's basically, his strategy is he's doing a webinar. Are you familiar with Russell Brunson's
Perfect webinar?
Yeah. So that's his strategy. Is he's hitting up his organic audience, his email list right now, getting people to register for the webinar, and then selling them on the webinar close. But then the plan is to
paid, right? This is more like a test strategy. Like running all of this is just to test the webinars and kind of clean them out, so that when we run cold traffic to it, Facebook ads to it, we have some sort of a baseline as to what we're working for, what we're working, what's working, what's not working. So been using these webinars as a test, but yeah, I think the time for testing, like there's only so much testing you can do on a list. At some point you run out of test possibilities, because the list gets beaten up with the same offer over time. So yeah,
it's kind of skewed data essentially.
Yeah, so the data is getting worse over time. Quote unquote worse is not the right word. The data is going to degrade. The performance is going to degrade over time. Data is what it is, but the performance is degrading over time.
Yeah.
Right. And performance degradation over time, because the list is seeing the same offer and again, is just the name of the game. So that's why probably in the next 2 weeks, I have to literally just be running this to cold and see what happens. So I was thinking next week, but I think,
Yeah, that was my thought. I was like, why haven't you started running cold traffic to it just to see how it performs?
Yeah, well, I was trying to, like, I've gone through like 3 or 4 different variations of the webinar on 2 different products just to see what's going to get good conversions. So I've been testing different variations, but yeah, now starting May, it's going to be like cold traffic to see what's going to stick, what's not going to stick. So yeah.
Cool. Is this your first time, or was the $300 a month thing also a webinar?
Yeah.
Is there a reason you stopped doing that?
Because you only do so many webinars. And the other reason for the $300 a month product that I was selling, first of all, I'm raising the price on it, and I don't want to like, it's a harder product to scale. Even though we got good conversions on it, it's just more painful to scale that product. And this one, the $1,000 a year, probably sell it $2,000 a year. That's what this one is infinitely scalable. So I'd much rather sell the one that's more scalable than sell the one that's, even though you get 300, 400 bucks a month, it's just painful to scale it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, that was the other thing I was thinking is like, why 1,000? Why not 2K or 3K
For
the $1,000 product?
yeah. I mean, that's what, like, I think it's only been like 2 weeks of testing it. So it was more like, okay, let me see if people will pay $1,000 for it. Because so far, like, we've raised the price of that product a lot. Like back when I first launched it a few years ago, it was, oh, not a few years ago, last year at this time, it was like $29 a month. So now selling it at $1,000 a year, it's gone up a lot.
Well, what's the offer?
It's called Focus Blocks. So I will have to explain exactly what it is. So what we do is we have a live focus guide every hour on the hour who orchestrates these live group co-working sessions 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And these live group co-working sessions are designed for deep focused work. So 5 minutes of focus ritual, followed by 50 minutes of deep work, followed by 5 minutes of recharge. And our focus guides run these sessions all day long. So people can join in as they want, get their work done, get out. So you join for an hour of time or 2 hours or whatever, you get your work done. And because you are in that orchestrated, it's designed for focus. So we create, we have a very specific ritual protocol that we follow. We ask people to turn off all distractions, all notifications. We ask people to put their phone away. And, we ask people to make their commitment for what they'll work on during this hour. And then, 50 minutes of deep work when they do 50 minutes of deep work. And then we have a specific ritual for recharge. And we do this 24 hours a day.
Nice. Okay. That's an interesting offer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. It's very hard to explain to people as to why it works. It's funny how this is probably the easiest, like it's the highest, like of all the products I've created in the last 7 years, like this is the best damn product I've ever created. Like in terms of results it gets for people, it's instantaneous. Like literally people will show up in an hour. They'll be like, dude, this changed my life. This is amazing. I want this. I'm keeping this. This is like, I doubled my productivity easily. Like people literally making so much money as a result of being in Focus Blocks. But it is the hardest product to sell and explain because people don't fathom, or people don't realize that, because they think, oh, it's so stupidly simple. How could this work for me? And every day I see new people jumping on Focus Blocks and they're like, man, you sent me emails for like 6 months. I didn't believe you. I didn't believe that, oh man, I have all this willpower and all this self-discipline. I've been doing business for myself for all this time. I don't need this shit. And then they're like, man, I did it. And it was amazing. It's changed my life. I doubled my productivity or tripled my productivity. Every day I get this, but it's like so hard to convince people that it actually works for them. And it's like, so annoying, man.
Hold on.
Like,
there's part of your pitch you need right there, actually, because that's your biggest, you just uncovered your biggest obstacle, right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest obstacle your customer has is, I don't think this seems too simple. I don't think this will work for me. I'm already productive. Right.
Yeah.
I think if you start talking about how people tell you this all the time and they listen to get your emails for 6 months and then finally they sign up and they're like, damn, I should have done this earlier. Right. I think that would be good to incorporate that.
That needs to be hammered on in the webinar.
Yeah. I tried to do it. Last one kind of gave a few testimonials of people exactly like that. But yeah, that's probably the biggest obstacle or the biggest conversion problem we have, which is people don't believe it'll work for them, or they don't believe that it's valuable to them, or they believe they're above this.
Yeah.
They think they have more willpower and self-discipline, or they are good at habits and routines and all that shit. But all of them are in the same boat, whether they're 20-year-old or 50-year-old, they all have the same challenges, not being able to manage their distractions, not being able to, because the way, and this is something like, as I'm talking, like I uncovered new ideas on this, but one of the important things I realized was that for people, it's very hard. Yeah, you can have willpower and productivity for an hour or 2 or 3, but to stay like consistently distraction free for a whole hour at a time for like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, it's virtually impossible because you don't have enough willpower to do that. But the problem is, if you like, it's like if you drop off, like as soon as every time you're trying to focus and you start to get distracted and you check email, and then again you try to focus, and then you check Twitter, and then you check Instagram, and you think it's only 1 minute, but no, it's taken your level of productivity from like level 5, level 6 to level 1, and then you're starting all over again, and then again level 1, and again start all. So you could have hit level 10 productivity within that period of time, but instead you're just hovering at 2 or 3 because you're thinking, oh, it's only 1 second or 5 seconds or 10 seconds. And that's what we can eliminate completely with focus blocks. And once people do it, they realize how freaking amazing that experience is. But until then, they think, oh, I got this. Yeah, so what if I check my phone once in a while? Yeah, I got this. I have enough discipline. I have enough willpower. But it's like, damn,
Well,
you can't do it by yourself.
here's the good, maybe you could use something like this too, because I was just thinking about, as you're talking about that, about the not having the willpower, the accountability, is imagine if you had, like, you're going to do a diet, right? But we installed cameras all over your house, in your refrigerator, in your pantry, and every time, and people were watching you and what you ate live 24 hours a day.
I like
right?
it.
That would be the most effective way. Like, whatever your diet was, you said you're going to do, you would do it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. That's what's going on here, is that it's like, yeah, how many, and that's, so talk about how many, everyone has the experience of failing on their diet. Right.
Yeah.
But they just tell them, hey, if I put a camera on every single food that you ate, and it went out to your Facebook feed, and all of your friends and everyone that knows you're on a diet saw exactly what you're eating, would you stick to the diet? Of course you would. Like, you wouldn't have any problem failing the diet then. Same thing with focus blocks. You think that you're productive, you think that you can focus, you think you can just sit down and do your work. Bullshit. You need a camera on you. This is a camera on you that ensures that you're sitting there doing the work you said you're going to do.
Sure.
I like it.
Manny, I have two thoughts. One, do you have some kind of guarantee or conditional guarantee in your offer?
Yeah, we do a 30-day guarantee, 100 like money back guarantee.
Or like, what's the guarantee? Like, they can just get a refund, or how's it work?
Yeah, they just get a refund if this doesn't work for them.
Got it. Okay. I'm trying to think, because it sounds like the people that are actually trying it out are really bought in. So my thought is, like, you got to get more people, not to even make the purchase, but get them to try out the product, even if it's like that's what I'm thinking.
This is what, yeah, I mean, you're right about that. And we've tried, like, I've tried that in the past when we were selling at $29 and $39 a month and 7-day free trials. And that's how we would get people to initially do the trials. And we still offer that on our website, like a 7-day free trial followed by like $299 a month. So that's still available. But like, if I'm going to put people through a webinar to again put them on a trial, that's like, we're not going to recoup the cost of that freaking thing for a long time. Right. So that's the challenge. And yeah.
Maybe there's some kind of guarantee that's like a really like crazy guarantee that you can make on it, like the word.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was like. Money back guarantee isn't necessarily like the best guarantee.
Yeah.
It's some kind of results driven guarantee, I think.
Yeah.
What if you offered to pay them for their time, like whatever their hourly rate is, they can show you a pay stub or something, and then if they spend 4 hours doing focus blocks, you'll give them all their money back, plus you'll pay them 4 hours of their time, whatever their hourly billing is worth.
Yeah, man, that's going to be hard. Like, I don't mind doing it. It's just that people are going to be like, oh, this is so much of hard work to like get through this guarantee. they're gonna balk at like even trying to use the guarantee. So it has to be a little bit easier for them to be able to use it, right?
Well, the way you present is you just say, I'll pay you 4 hours of whatever your time is worth, or whatever, however many focus blocks that you do. So I don't know, something along those lines. You need something that's like,
you don't pitch that technical thing. That's just like in the contract. But like during the offer, it would just be like, I'm so confident this will help increase your productivity. After 4 hours, if you haven't increased for the day, I'll literally pay you for your time, like something like that. You know,
because you're saying, okay, you're going to double your productivity, right? So then you could say, look, if this doesn't double your productivity, I guarantee it will double your productivity. At least it'll double the amount of money that you make in that time. Because if you give focus blocks a try, you do 4 hours, 4 focus blocks, and you don't feel like it's twice the productivity, I'll pay you twice what you're making during that time, right? I'll pay you the extra half, the extra whatever. You got to figure out the wordsmithing to make it a lot smoother rolling off the tongue, but something like that would be a compelling offer. Because it's because people are signing up. Why? Because they want the result. The result is double the productivity, right? At least, right? So if it's like, why do you want double productivity? So you can make more money. Well, okay, you're gonna guarantee make more money in that time. Like you're gonna spend 4 hours and you're gonna make twice as much money as you normally would make in the 4 hours, guaranteed, right? Either it's gonna happen from the product or I'm gonna pay you.
You think the guarantee is really stopping people from buying this? Because they still have like a money back guarantee. There's something else, I believe, that's stopping them from taking the leap.
Well, I was talking on my coaching call, on my weekly coaching call. I had a guy that was trying to sell, and I was saying, well, there's always like a few elements that are required for any kind of sale, right? So the first one is that they have to believe that it works. That's the most important thing, is the belief that it actually works, right? So we had a guy, actually, it was kind of crazy. He was trying to offer, we did a live Shark Tank on the group coaching call, and he was trying to get people to give him $8,000 for the student loan thing that he was going to do, and he was going to get $50,000 from the government, and then he was going to give them back $16,000. He's going to double their money. And I did a vote. I was like, how many of you guys will give him $8,000 right now? And we could do the deal right now, Shark Tank, right? And he's going to give you back $16,000. And everyone was no. And I was like, why? He's in there like, and so they're like, because I don't believe that. It just seems too unbelievable. How am I going to double my money? I said, okay, let's say Matt changes his offer and he offers you 20% return on your money. So you're going to give him $8,000. He's going to give you like $10,000 back. Would you be more likely to buy the offer or to take it? And everyone was like, yes, I'd be more likely. Why? Because that seems believable, right? So even though like one of them was 100% return on your money, the offer, if as it got better, it got worse because it became less believable. So I think the key thing is getting the believability. Like, do they actually, because if someone actually believed, like, think of it this way. If what you're offering, if someone actually believed doing this, signing up for your focus blocks, that they would double their productivity, they would get twice as much work done in the same amount of time, they would pay $5,000 for it. Most people, if they could afford it, right? They would certainly pay $1,000. So I think that's the number one thing. Aside from that, then there's objections to overcome. But ultimately, if they believed it, then they would purchase it.
That's good, man. I see what you're saying. So maybe we don't promise double your productivity and make the promise a little different to make it believable, to get them to actually buy into the concept. And then, I see that point, because it's hard for people to conceptualize the possibility of doubling their productivity because they're thinking, oh, I'm already so productive. How can that even happen?
Right.
And even though most people are not that productive as they think they are. Interesting. Yeah.
I agree with what John was saying too, because I also feel like audiences are like jaded to the idea of just like money back guarantee. It doesn't like even trigger in their mind like that much, as versus you specifically stating like what the offer is. And it's like, you're actually going to get paid for your time here on top of the refund. Like, I don't know, the upside is just, it's more convincing, I think, you know?
Let me show you the offer I did. I don't know if let me share my screen real quick. I'll show you this. So I did that self-confidence program, and I tried to do like the best guarantee that I could with this. And my guarantee, I called it I'm confident you'll be confident guarantee. This program will work for you. I'm 100% confident, and I absolutely know it will work for you so much that I will personally guarantee you'll succeed with my I'm confident you're confident guarantee. It's better than your money back guarantee. If you go through this program and implement the exercises and you do not feel 100% more confident than you were before you started this program, I will not only give you all your money back, but I will personally work with you to help build your self-confidence. As you already know, I charge $1,500 an hour for my time. That's how serious I am about this. The reason I'm able to make this strong of guarantee is because I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that if you actually do what I tell you in this program, you will greatly increase your self-confidence beyond what you could even imagine. You have absolutely nothing to lose. I want all the risk of this program to belong to me. So the idea here is that I'm guaranteeing their result. Like if they don't get the result, they're going to get their money back, but they are going to get the result because I'll work with them personally to make sure that they get the result.
So in this case, like in this guarantee, to me, if I'm looking at this guarantee, I'm wondering, well, what does it mean? He'll work personally with me. What does it mean to improve my confidence by 100%? Right. It's interesting, like what you have here. Hard to quantify in terms of like what exactly would I get till I get my confidence, or till I get an extra 100% confidence. So yeah, I mean, I see the guarantee thing, but I think what you just said after that, which was like people not even believing that they can double their productivity, I think that might be the crucial point here. Like people don't even conceptualize or fathom that that's even a possibility.
Yeah, because it's too unbelievable of a thing.
So too unbelievable of a thing for them to even conceptualize. They're almost thinking like this is I mean, testimonials can only do so much. Like the testimonials literally talk about how, we have a teacher who's saying he's doubled his productivity, and then we have medical student who's saying I've solved double the number of questions when I'm in focus blocks, and then we have research scientist who says that in 30 hours I do more than I used to do in 60 hours, and so on and so forth. But those are still like people think, oh, those are them, but not me personally. And then we have people who are doubling their income in 3 months because they're getting so much more done. And we have so many testimonials like that. So it's like we have the results every single time to prove that it's actually doubling people's productivity and even more. But maybe that's not the claim that people want to even believe in.
Right. Yeah, maybe it needs to be lesser. And then you have these phenomenal results that show people doubling their productivity. And then that makes them believe the lesser claim is certainly possible.
You may even need to ask them during the webinar what their current productivity level is, but like, what does that mean to that person? Right? Because like if someone just told me double my productivity level, I don't actually have like a quantifiable thing, because like my work is kind of sporadic. So like maybe even asking them like, what is your current productivity level look like? It doesn't mean that they're working 8 hours a day. Like what, out of that 8, what do they actually get out of it? Are they sending like 100 emails? Like what's going on? That
quantifying their productivity.
Exactly. Imagine them doubling that.
Yeah. One of the things I said was, would you like, I gave people an option. Would you rather do 2 days of work in 1 day, or would you finish your day's work by lunchtime? Right. So we have a 50-50 split on that, but that's a way to quantify for them, like what exactly is the end result of this?
Right.
Would you do 2 days of work in 1 day, or would you get your work done by lunch? And that's good, totally realistic with focus blocks. Happens all the time with people, with our customers.
What about the person who is not a entrepreneur, who's not earning income for themselves?
Yeah,
that's maybe because.
But I'm not like right now, I'm not worried about that. Like right now, I'm only targeting an audience that I can speak to very clearly. Of course, we get software developers as a side all the time. Like software developers get the whole point, and they are the ones who are all about flow and deep work, and they buy into it. but mostly it's entrepreneurial audience that we sell to. People in jobs, I don't really care much for helping them out with focus blocks per se, unless they're like in a job where their high quality work gets rewarded very quickly.
Oh, I guess we should probably get into wrapping it up here because we're hitting the hour. You got to run now, Kyle, or you got to?
Yeah, I have a call starting in the next 5 minutes, so I do need to get out of here. I mean, you don't end the live stream. I was just letting you know, like, I just need to get out. I want to keep going for a little bit. I just don't want to abruptly exit out.
No, I was just because we do like usually at the end we do like a thoughts for the week or something like that. So we share our kind of high level thought. So if you've got something to share for, what is your thought for the week?
Like what I'm trying to do, or what do you mean, or for the audience?
Just kind of like an insight that you've had, like some pearl of wisdom for the week, something to ponder.
The week.
Yeah.
From the week?
Yeah.
Pearl of wisdom for the week regarding my business. I guess like really I actually did I'm working with a mentor right now who's actually like doing an overview of my business. And although I did have a 6-figure month in the last 30 days, what I've been noticing is that, like, organically speaking, which is what's bringing in pretty much all of my income, the content output has just not been there. So instead of I've been trying to do all of these other things. I've been trying to dial in my advertising, working with this ads team, doing all of these other features. My mentor was like, well, dude, you have like 95% of your income is coming from this one lane. Why aren't we just 2xing, 3xing, 4xing that, right? So because I've been working with all these business coaches and I'm thinking like, I got to get the ads dialed in. I got to get the funnel perfected, when instead I should just be looking at, well, what is really crushing the business right now? And how can I just double or triple that? Right. So that's like the main thing I'm going to be focusing on moving forward. And also the environment that I'm in. So where I'm currently living is kind of limiting me from doing that, because a lot of the times when I film or put out content, like I can't, as you can see, I really can't film from this desk right now, just due to the lighting in this apartment. Right. So the other thing is I'm moving right when I had this discussion with him, I was like, dude, like, fuck this. I got to get into a bigger place that allows me the space to just have the creativity, and like the moment the inspiration strikes, just turn on the camera instead of making it this hard setup. So it's really been shifting my focus, and literally I'm in the process. I think May 1st, I'm going to be moving into a 3-bedroom spot where we could dedicate 2 of the bedrooms specifically towards just filming content. Even one of the rooms not having any natural light in it, and just have like equipment set up. So that's kind of like my mindset shift that's been going on in the last 7 days of like positioning yourself in an environment where you can optimize whatever needs to get done. And then the other aspect is like, what's really working in your business right now that you could be doubling, tripling down on.
Awesome. Yeah. Good focus. Environment is so key.
Yeah. So with that being said, I do need to head out of here. So John and Manny, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me on, guys. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Take care, Kyle.
All right, guys. Peace out.
All right.
Yeah. Are you guys rolling out the VSL this week?
I think it's next week. I finished the VSL. It came up. This is actually kind of life-changing to a degree. So I wrote up the script for the VSL, right? And I did 2 takes of it. I did one where I literally read the script. I just like did, and then went to the camera and said the thing, and then took a moment, like read the next line, like tried it multiple times, right? And I went through that, and it took a while to get that whole thing done, right? So I did one edit like that. And then I did one where I had the script and I glanced at the section of the script and I just kind of paraphrased it into the camera. It went a little bit faster to talk through, but it was longer. It was more bulky, less succinct, right?
So you didn't use the exact same words in the second one.
Right.
You put it in your own words.
And then I had my editor edit both of them up, tighten it up. And it's crazy. The one with the script, I thought was going to be just, but it came out good. It came out succinct. I feel like the natural one came out a little bit better, but it's a game changer for me because even the one with the script, I'm going to start scripting my YouTube videos, I think. And I'm just going to do it that way, because then I can be succinct and say exactly what I want to say, not ramble. So yeah, it's a game changer, because I didn't realize how good it would come out. Right. when you're recording like that and you're like reading a line and then, saying it to the camera, you feel like it's just all clunky and shit, but it came out solid. Like I'll have to share with you
The total time was the same for both in terms of the work needed.
I would say that the time in terms of the work needed was about the same, because it took, when you go a little bit off, when you ad lib it off the script, you end up speaking more, right? But so that came out to about the same.
Not total recording time. I mean, total, because normally you don't write scripts. So writing a script itself is the most consuming time of all of these things.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true. That's definitely true. But if you can have a lot better video and by writing a script, then it'd be worth.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. We got dead air time. This is the weirdest podcast ever for most people that just listen to the audio. All right. All right. Okay. So, but yeah, go ahead.
And you guys are going to start running traffic to it starting next week?
Yeah, I think next week we're going to officially launch it off. They're working on the landing page. He should have that in sales scripts for the sales team. So that should all be set. And then basically, I'm going to run, it's just going to be organic traffic right now. So I'm going to be sending people. Well, I'll give them access to my email list. Like we'll send some emails to get people on the calls. Like that's we could tap into that. Instagram, I'll do some stories with the DM me, right? And then I'll have someone responding to the DMs and booking the calls on there.
So is it VSL to an application form?
Yeah. So the funnel looks like this. It looks like the VSL, which is a landing page for book your 15-minute consulting call, right? Free call. From the 15-minute call is a screening call that will, if they're screened, they'll go to the half an hour or hour-long sales call. So
VSL to an application, right?
Right. Yeah. There's an application in there. Yep.
Exactly. Application to a screening call, which is like a 2-minute, 3-minute call.
Right.
And then to a sales call. But it doesn't matter to you because they're doing all of the sales piece of it. You just have to produce the VSL and the offer document, I guess,
right,
or whatever that is their salespeople need.
Yeah, exactly. So
nice, man.
Yeah, we'll see. It should work out well. I mean, shit, if getting the sales team, I think that's going to be key. And it's the same that Kyle's been doing, like the same guy that worked with Kyle. So that's what he was able to do that with his offer. And his space is harder because it's a dating space to be able to sell.
And his probably product price point is not as high either.
Yeah, it's a little bit lower. Right. But still, I think his price point's around $3,000 or so, somewhere around there, which is in the dating space. That's going to be
$3,000 for 3 months or 4 months.
Things for 3 months. Yeah. So, yeah. So like a 12-week program. So, yeah. So I think we should be able to sell at $5,000. I think we'll see how it works, but
yeah, for sure. I think it's, Have you sold any after that since like last week doing the same DM thing?
I had a bunch of people that came in through that funnel. I got like 2 sales, I think, from that. I got a bunch of people that filled the application, and then I need to follow up with them because they didn't take the next step after that. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a revving up that whole machine. And the good thing is, like, if you have a sales team, you don't have to worry about it because they will do it for you till you get enough confidence in the next 3 to 6 months. And then you're like, okay, well, now I can have my own sales team doing this for me. And then you can choose to, I mean, it kind of two parts of the business, the traffic part and the conversion part, right? Or
right.
traffic, conversion, and offer. Without a highly potent offer, everything is a waste.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Because we've done that before where we have offers that are good, but they're not like so damn good that you would send all your traffic to it all the time.
Right.
Right. We've had products in the past. It's only when you have a really good product when traffic and conversion problems really matter or should be so high a priority.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the case I was telling you yesterday about, which you don't believe, I sent you a screenshot of the Stripe, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure if you saw that.
I
The
saw,
month
yeah.
prior was 11K
Yeah.
cash collected, and this month is 44K cash collected. So yes, it is true. Like, it's not sustainable what's happened just in the last 30 days for her because of that one video.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, just to kind of to lay the ground, all she's doing is a freaking TikTok video.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And if you can get, I mean, you know, what was her price point? It was like a 4K product.
4K.
Okay.
But you have to realize the reason why hers is going to convert better than a lot of ours in some ways is because she's talking to a very specific problem.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Very specific problem.
Yeah.
Right. Our, like, when you look at Bulldog Mindset videos, right? There are a lot of different topics. There's Johnny Depp, and there's like dating, and then there's money, and there's fitness, and there's books, and all of those things, right? So
Yeah.
you can't really take really all of the views of all of those videos and say, well, if these many views get this many sales, then this other person should also get this many sales from this many views. Not true at all.
Right. Yeah.
Because she's talking about one topic and one topic only.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She's talking about carb metabolism and sugar and insulin. Like, she's talking about the whole insulin resistance thing. That's her only thing.
Right. Yeah.
Every video is about that one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can see why that becomes so much more precise. Like, it's pinpoint what she's doing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's laser, because she's like, I don't talk about anything else but this one thing, insulin resistance. And I keep talking about this shit till people go crazy. Like, people are like, dude, talk about something. No, I keep talking about this shit.
Right.
And that's what makes her product or her offer so damn compelling for her audience. Because the people, so the thing to understand, I think there's so many different things in that realm. One of the key is the people who are watching that shit are a very specific group of people.
Yeah.
They are already her target audience.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Who will buy that product.
Right.
But in our case, like, if you think about it, if you have dating content and fitness content and, you know, productivity content and also money content, it's not that audience will not always buy that product.
Right.
So
exactly.
suddenly you could be like 10%, like, because of the spread in your content, only 5 or 10% of the audience might actually be interested in that product.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's the targeting of the, yeah, of the audience.
Which
who
is happening because of the content.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. So that's why I do believe that her numbers are not that far off, because she just has to make 2 or 3 sales a month to get the 11K mark.
Yeah, I can see making 2 to 3 sales a month based off of that funnel. That makes sense. Like doing 40, 50K per month.
No, I agree. That's not realistically long-term play for her. But like, even to go from 1,000 a month to 12,000 a month in a matter of a year as a coach, as someone who's just like writing on TikTok or just creating stuff on TikTok, which is like 2-minute videos.
Yeah.
It's impressive because she's kept everything down in a very tight window, which is
right.
How to get sales for this very specific end result for this very specific audience.
Yeah.
Very specific audience, very specific end results, and a very simple sales mechanism.
Yeah.
I think that's the key for everyone, for anyone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it goes back to, again, like the stuff that we missed when we did the whole internet marketing thing was what sales has always been. I mean, Glenn Ross, like, it's just like, you have the leads, you work the leads. Like, that's how it's been throughout history. And somehow we thought we had some kind of magic with email list, and that magic lasted for maybe 10-year time period, but the magic is over, right? It's not, it still works.
We could have made a lot more money from that list if we had the right sales mechanism.
Right. Yeah. Someone, I guess, like, if you took a regular salesperson, marketer, and you gave them, and they heard what you're doing with your list, like you had like a list of, let's say 30,000 people, and you were just sending them emails and having them click on the link and buy something that was low cost, they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? You're wasting this list. Like, let's call up every one of those 30,000 people and we'll have sales. We'll have millions of dollars of sales for the next 10 years from that amount of leads. Right. That's how like a traditional salesperson would look at that, which is true. It's like you've wasted the like, to get some quick cash from it, like an easy cash, would be so much better to like really mine that list as much as possible, get those people on a phone call and sell them something that is a higher ticket thing.
I think what we did and what everyone falls for is the dream of automated income, right?
Yeah.
The dream of automated income, also the dream of income coming from emails that you're sending out and not doing anything about it. It's real, but it's not the thing that will make you the most money.
Right.
And the more you try to automate things, the more you try to be like, okay, I'm going to automate this and I'm going to automate that, and everything's going to be automated in the business, the farther away you move from bigger money.
Right. Exactly.
Because it needs that sales touch in order to make the big money.
Yeah.
So in our quest of automating or in our quest to be marketers, we forget that we actually should have been salespeople before we even became marketers.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
In our quest to grow an online business, we forgot that sales is the blood of the business, not marketing. Marketing is second level. Sales is the first, like, dagger in the heart.
Yep, exactly.
And that's like a big faux pas, which people are doing even today. Every day, new people are going and starting new blogs and email lists and thinking that the key is just to sell a $50, $100, $200, $500 product on a sales page. And it's not the way for them to be able to scale, or not the way for them to be able to make big money in any way, shape, or form for long periods of time.
Yeah. No, it's true.
They need a simpler offer and they need a simpler sales mechanism. And which is what we're coming to now. It's funny. We're going around in circle only to come back to where we should have started long time ago.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we're getting there now. So
yeah, man, I'm excited for you for this new venture.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how this works out. I have a lot of confidence in it now that I've seen so many people doing the same exact thing, right? With not as good of an offer either, I think that as far
What do
as
you mean?
offers
So many
go,
people doing the same exact thing in terms of so many people running a $5,000 offer,
or running high ticket sales, off of their organic traffic, like
yeah,
that's, you know,
yeah.
because the
So
offer that I have is such a like it's an easy, it's literally making you like financial independence, right? So that's if people can sell diet programs and dating at high ticket, then selling financial independence is certainly, something that can be sold at high ticket very easily. So
yeah, there was a question at some point that I was asked this week. It was like, why don't you combine everything and sell it as one offer, like a 5K package or a 6K package for the year? And that's a very compelling thought,
yeah,
right? Quantum Leap and Focus Blocks combined as one offer, because the problem with that is still there are two different things I would have to sell to them in their mind.
yeah.
Or otherwise, I just end up selling one thing and the other becomes a bonus, but then never realize the value of the other thing.
I think also there's a time constraint thing with Focus Blocks plus the Quantum Leap, because how many calls realistically are people going to be on? You know what I mean? That's a lot of time commitment. You already have the accountability, like the 19-minute productivity in the morning. So you've already got a lot of stuff on their schedule. I think it's better to just, well, again, it like the most important thing is just to focus on one outcome, one thing, one
Yeah.
method, one, it's when you start adding stuff, it starts to become confusing. Like, how do I get this result again? When it's like, no, this is the clear path. This is what you do. This is, simplifying it as much as possible. That's the key.
Yeah.
Getting down
And
to,
combining these two offers will not simplify my life because now I have to explain them two different concepts.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that thing is like, yeah, I shouldn't combine any offer because it'll create so much more ruckus in the mind of the consumer.
Yeah.
I can only give the other thing as a bonus, but I have to sell
Well,
them on Focus Blocks, to be honest. Like it's so frustratingly like, why can't I get this into your head?
I mean, what I would do, if anything, like if you wanted to, is sell them on Focus Blocks, and then if you want to have the Quantum Leap as an offer, you offer that to people who are already in Focus Blocks.
That's the
that.
plan right now.
Yeah.
Like you are on Focus Blocks, and then we just send you to a Quantum Leap webinar,
right?
And you buy off of that, or people, yeah. So
this way,
webinar is for Focus Blocks customers, to sign on to the next level, basically.
Yeah. So then you can focus all your marketing efforts and everything on Focus Blocks and selling that. So
yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm doing now, like putting all of my energy into just the Focus Blocks webinar, and probably starting running cold traffic next week to see what happens with that webinar.
Yeah.
But the problem with this, like, I'm not going to run a live webinar anymore, so I have to record the damn thing. But now I'm like, I don't even know if it's a webinar good enough that I should record it just yet. So it's like,
well, run some cold traffic to it first, and do it live still until you know that you've got good numbers.
Yeah. I mean, running cold traffic to a live webinar, it gets really expensive because you don't get as many views.
Yeah.
So now you're like literally hoping, like, if you think about it, if I get $10 leads, which is a stretch, I don't know if I can get $10 a lead right now, probably like $10, $15 a lead. I got 100 leads. I might have 20%, 20 people show up.
Yeah.
So 20 people showing up for $1,000 and hoping that, 5% of them convert would be, or 10%, 10 people see the offer and one convert. So now I'm back to like $1,000 spent to get $1,000 back.
Well, that's why your price really has to be $2,000. I don't think your price, I think if people are bought on it, if they believe that it'll work for them, the difference between 1,000 and 2,000 is maybe like 20% less people buy it. I don't think it's 50% less people buy it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's the key with the pricing, is that like as you go up in the pricing, as long as you have the believability, it doesn't drop off. Like you can double the price, but not half the customers.
So one of the things I've noticed, the difference between Quantum Leap webinar and Focus Blocks webinar is this. At Quantum Leap webinar, when I ask people, have you seen, when you look back in your life, all of your great accomplishments, all of the biggest achievements happened only because you were in a Quantum Leap environment, Quantum Leap situation. Do you agree or not? Boom, 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 boom. Yes, 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 yes. True, 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 true. People will reply to that because they see it, right?
Yeah.
With Focus Blocks, and I'm like, do you understand that the only way you will be able to be consistently productive at a higher level is if you don't depend on your habits, routines, willpowers, and only because you'll do forcing functions? I don't get the same response. So I haven't broken their belief yet.
Maybe what you can do is I got to wrap this up pretty soon too. I got to go, but maybe what you can do is related to some experience where they've had that, where they've been in focus, right? You could say like, you could talk about a time where they were just like so involved in something that like hours went by, and, to use the kind of, what's his name that wrote the book on it?
Makes me high, chicks and me high.
Yeah. That what he describes as the flow state, right? Talk about, because they can probably relate to the flow state. The other thing you could do is you could even like relate it to something like playing a video game where you're like addicted to this video game and like hours go by and you're just completely focused on this thing, right? That's maybe that would help to make that relation so that people can say, you're essentially helping them to be able to achieve that all the time, right? I mean, that's kind of what you're saying is the ability to get into a flow state, right? That's So
yeah. The Flow guys sell their program for $5,000, and it's a course, and it's a coaching program. It's not like what we do, which is on demand,
right,
all the time. So I think I haven't been able to convince people yet. So the domino statement is cool, but I don't think I have convinced them of the domino statement.
Right.
With the gym, some people get to that point, but it's not as like Quantum Leap. It really makes it like Quantum Leap. Every single time people are like, yes, that's the only way.
It might help to do that. What if you did a webinar and you, instead of closing them on the webinar, you closed them to a phone call, and then you did sales call, not permanently, but temporarily, so that you could figure out where they are. Because you get them on a call and be like, okay, you watched the webinar, right? Do you believe this will work for you? No, honestly. Or in fact, don't phrase it that way. Say, why do you not believe this will work for you? Right. Say that, and then let them answer and see what they say, and then convince them, overcome those obstacles. And then you can put that, if That's you do good. Like 5 to 10 of those sales calls, you probably have enough info to put in that webinar to overcome the objection right there.
I like it.
Figure out, why do people not believe it?
I like it, because what I did today, I sent out 2 different communications, and both of them bombed. One of them, I sent a text message to the group of registrants, and I was like, hey, did you watch my forcing functions webinar? Do you have any questions? Yeah. No response on the text message or communication, right? Then I sent an email saying, hey, I'm giving out these survey gift cards, $50 gift cards for anyone who watched the webinars. I want to know, like, if you watched that webinar, answer these questions, and if you qualify, we'll give you a $50 gift card for Amazon. And I haven't gotten responses on it either. But I think if I can get them on a phone in some way, shape, or form after the webinar right away, then it's much more like I can address the core questions they might be thinking about.
Yeah. Because you got to figure out why they don't believe. That's the key.
Yeah, that's good. I think I can do that. I like that idea a lot. Getting them on a call.
Yeah. The way that I worded it in that in the coaching call that I did, the group coaching calls, I said the number one thing is that they have to believe that it works, right? That's number one.
Yeah.
After that, they have to believe that it's worth it to them. That price is worth the result once they believe the result is possible. And then the third thing they have to believe is that they can do it, that it not just works, but that they'll be able to succeed at it. If they believe those three things, then they'll purchase, right? But with number one being that they believe it works. If they don't believe the offer works, they don't trust the offer, it doesn't matter with the other two. But if they believe that, then the next thing is they have to believe that the price is worth it for them, that trade-off, they're willing to
No,
trade
I
for that
think,
result.
okay, so first is they have to believe it works. Second is they have to believe it works for them. And third is they have to believe even if it works for them, it's worth the price.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I think you could swap the two, and that would be right. Yeah. So,
Because the way Russell says is there something internally that's holding them back? Is there externally that's holding them back? Or is it the vehicle? They don't believe in the vehicle. They don't believe themselves, or they don't believe in the external something reason, right?
yeah.
Why it doesn't work. So yeah. Yeah, I should get them on a call. That'll be fun.
All right.
All
Should we
right.
do thoughts for the day?
Yeah.
The week?
Yeah. Week, month, year. ahead.
Let's see. I'm trying to think what mine is for this.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's been a lot of testing on these webinars at this point, of 4 months of testing webinars. And it's interesting, like you get so much insights into what's working, what's not working. And sometimes these tests can be very like sometimes it's very hard to understand what's working and what's not working, and that's when you need to, like, I would normally say just, you need to spend more time figuring out what it is, but also you need to talk to more people to figure out what it is that might be not right in your in that thing. So talk to more people to figure out what might be the thing that's not working in your marketing or sales. I guess it's a weak thought, but that's what I'm thinking of right now, because I feel like by myself it's very hard to like live in my own head and solve a problem that I don't even know what is the problem I'm solving.
Yeah, I got a similar kind of thought, maybe that kind of, which is that business is all systems, right? That's all that a business is a collection of systems. And so everything you're doing, you need to have a system around it so that you can monitor the input and output of that system and make change to that system, right? So everything is sellable. Every business can succeed. It's just a matter of like, you've got a system around lead generation, you've got one around making the sale, you've got one around product delivery, right? Like those are the key three systems that you have. And so instead of trying to like develop new systems and doing all these things, like just looking at one system at a time and focusing on getting the results from that system is the key, which means that you have to have consistency. So you have to do something consistently, test it, change it, make that thing work, right? It's like, if you're going to sell, I was working with this with a lot of my coaching clients this last week, is like, if you're going to sell something, ultimately the first thing that you need to do is to be able to acquire leads. So you have to have that system in place, and you have to get that system working. And then from there, you need a system of selling those leads, right? So let's develop a system around that. Like if you can move people through all three of those systems where you can finally deliver the product, that's the business right there. And so sometimes we make it way, way more complicated than it is, but really that's all that it is. It's just those systems.
Yeah. And to add to it, like sometimes people get things out of order or out of sequence, in the sense working on a system that doesn't need to be built right now.
Right.
And the most prominent system in any business, early stage business especially, is your sales system. Like until you have a sales system, everything else is broken. Like the business doesn't need you to optimize your SOPs and all that crap. You need freaking sales system. And when I say sales system, you need to make one sales one-on-one if that's what it's required to get sales, and then create systems around it, and then go to the next level and next level.
Yeah.